The largest signature baseball museum in the world sits in the History Museum of St. Petersburg, Florida. This Guinness World Record collection holds over 5,000 signed baseballs, documenting the history of baseball, the stars who played it, specialty balls, and signatures of celebrities, sports heroes, and politicians, all on baseballs. This wall holds a timeline display documenting some of America's baseball legends. Imagine being a 7-year-old kid and getting one of your heroes to sign a baseball, and then treasuring that ball all your life until it finally ended up here, over 100 years later. I grew up in the 50s and 60s, when baseball truly was America's pastime. I played sandlot, collected baseball cards, and loved going to baseball games. Speaking of the history of baseball, General Abner Doubleday did not invent baseball. That's just a myth. Anyone else remember this home run battle to break Hank Aaron's record? Undoubtedly, the most famous baseball team in history was the 1927 Yankees, whose legendary stars included Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, and Earl Combs. Babe Ruth may be the most famous baseball player who ever lived, setting dozens of records that stood for decades. Lou Gehrig held the record for most consecutive games played at 2,130 for 56 years. Anyone who loves baseball will recognize so many of these famous names. There was a marvelous display about how the baseball has evolved over the decades, with samples from each era. The history of women playing the game of baseball dates back to at least the 1860s, when Vassar College in Poughkeepsie, New York, fielded a team. This display discussed the war years, when, with men fighting World War II overseas, women formed their own league, the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. Founded in 1943, over 500 women played, with nearly 300 of their signatures in this collection.
The All-American Girls League produced its share of stars. Jean Fout won 3 pitching titles and pitched 2 perfect games. The major leagues formally banned women from playing at any level of professional baseball.
Another special display told the tales of the 7 relatively successful leagues beginning in 1920, termed Negro Major Leagues. The most famous player from the Negro Leagues was Satchel Paige. His legacy was best summed up by the baseball greats Joe DiMaggio, Ted Williams, Dizzy Dean, and Bob Feller, who all proclaimed Satchel Paige to be the greatest pitcher ever. There were hundreds of signed baseballs from the Negro Player Leagues. And then came the fellow who broke the color barrier, Jackie Robinson. At age 28, Robinson broke the baseball color line when he started at first base for the Brooklyn Dodgers on April 15, 1947. Here's a display of autographed baseballs by famous sportscasters. Talk about amazing signatures. How about Charles Lindbergh and Amelia Earhart, both on the same baseball? Walt Disney was a big fan of the sport, both as a spectator and as an amateur player. Baseball games across the nation paused during the moon landing. There are over 1,000 logo baseballs displayed, balls printed with special pictures or company logos. And finally, we get to the thousands of signature baseballs, celebrities, sports heroes, and politicians whose autographed balls are displayed in this incredible museum. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back. For it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out in the old ball game. Here's the fellow who put this collection together.